Hello, this is John Gilbert at Security First Asset Management, here with a weekly market update and to go over some announcements of some different events that we have coming up here in the near future. Now, our next event that we have coming up is going to be happening August 9th. That will be our halftime report in bowling. So what we did at that event last year, we took some time to go over and to discuss different things that were happening in the markets during the first half of the year. And then after we were done with that, we just took some time to relax, eat some food, go do some bowling. So it was a great time last year. If you would like to attend that event, it's going to be August 9th at Pinstripes Bowling Center. Now that's just down the road from our Macon office on Sheraton Drive. So that's August 9th at 11 o'clock. If you would like to attend that event, please contact us and let us know. Now on to a brief recap of markets last week. Now this is for the period that was last Monday, June 16th to last Friday, June 20th. So last week, the major U.S. equity indexes, they finished mixed. So what I mean by that is that some of them were up a little bit, some of them were down. And so there was a lot of volatility in markets that was largely due to some rising tensions in the Middle East. Now the smaller cap indexes, they performed the best last week, right? And then the NASDAQ, it also posted a modest gain, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished the week flat, so didn't really have any movement over the week period. And then the S&P 500 finished modestly lower. Now, one of the most anticipated market events last week was the Federal Reserve meeting, which occurred on Wednesday. Now, during that meeting, the Federal Reserve held rates steady for the fourth consecutive meeting in a row. So they haven't changed rates. The Federal Reserve rate has stayed the same for the past four meetings. Now, that was largely expected. One of the things that folks were really looking forward to was the release of the so-called dot plot, which was just kind of gives an idea of what the Fed is looking to do going forward. So on the dot plot, the Fed, the Federal Reserve Board officials, they still anticipate 2 rate cuts in 2025. So they're anticipating cutting rates 2 times between now and the end of 2025. But they only anticipate 1 rate cut in 2026 now. Now, obviously, the reality of rate cuts and how much rates are cut by and how many rate cuts there are is going to largely depend upon different factors going forward and the data that comes out at that time. Those are just their expectations and what they anticipate. Now, the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, he noted in a press conference after the meeting that despite elevated uncertainty, the economy is in a solid position, and the Fed remains well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. The Fed, they also released a new economic forecast showing that they expect weaker growth, higher inflation, and higher unemployment this year. Now that is all for our weekly market update this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and y'all have a blessed week.